just see. We may be live now. Hello, world. I'm checking my Twitch to see if it's coming through. Don't see it yet.
Also don't see it yet.
Hello, hello, hello. Do-do-do-do. This is the most awkward part of the stream where I don't know if I'm online or not, and people are potentially just watching me. Let's see.
It says Atish Music is streaming Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I had to choose a video game.
Okay.
And that was okay. There was a network error. To see if it's coming through. Yes, I see myself live on Twitch. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the July edition of Discord Demo Day. And I am very, very happy to have my special guest, Anders. He's joining us. You're in Netherlands right now?
Yes, I'm at home.
And I'm a big fan of his music. As a DJ, I've seen him play a bunch of times at some of the same gigs we had. I play his productions. We're going to talk about one of my favorite tracks of all time that you have. And he runs a great label called Happy Camper Records. And he's a jack of all trades, a really sharp dude, has a really good eye and ear. So welcome to Discord Demo Day. How you doing, Duncan?
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. I'm happy to have some time here in the studio. And tomorrow I go to Morocco again, just for a day, and then Sunday I go to Ibiza. So
big weekend.
Yeah, not so much like, well, I guess travel wise, yes, but Ibiza is more of a. I'm planning to move there in the fall, so this trip is figuring out logistics and figuring out what I actually need to do in order to make that move.
Wow. I've only seen kind of the nightlife scene slices on the North American side, but what's the vibe been like for gigs? What's open, what's not open? How's it been?
It's been really weird. Like Holland completely opened up 3 weeks ago, and first there were some restrictions on how many people they could have at a festival, and out of the blue they just opened everything up. No more restrictions, multi-day festivals, all clubs open, no more masks, everything. And then 2 weeks later, because all the cases started to rise, they completely locked everything back up. So
oh man.
all of the promoters, and like we have a really big festival culture here in Holland. I think on average pre-pandemic we had about, I don't know, probably anywhere between 40 to 60 festivals a weekend.
Wow.
And our country is like the size of like Manhattan, like it's small. So so a lot of the promoters are pissed, and a lot of people are suing the government right now, because a lot of people, we're on the verge of bankruptcy, and now with everything opening up and then like having it being slammed in their face has just been a disaster for many.
Is that part of the motivation for the move to Ibiza, or that would have happened anyway?
No, that arrived like somewhere during the pandemic, and I was supposed to go there for like 2 weeks, and I ended up staying 3 months, and the whole island embraced me. And then I realized like I need to be more in nature and more outside and a warmer climate. And also I've been living in this house here for the last 17 years.
Oh wow.
So it's time for change.
Right on.
Yeah.
Wow, 17 years. That's
has I haven't actually been here for 17 years, but if I would have to call something my home, it's been here. Yeah.
And how's the pandemic been for you overall? Let's say creatively, personally.
The beginning was rough, but that had to do with I lost 2 very dear people in my life, very abruptly, and that kind of pulled the rug underneath me. And then I did a retreat somewhere, and then I ended up in Ibiza, and that's the story how I decided that I was going to live there. So if those things never would have happened, maybe I wouldn't have decided to make that move. And then the rest of the pandemic, I got booked to play Art With Me, or COVID With Me, or whatever like it turned out to be. Like, it got a really bad rep after it, but then like for me a lot of opportunities opened in Mexico, so I was back in Mexico in January and then again in April. So for me the pandemic didn't feel as lengthy in terms of isolation as it did for most people. and the all the extra time throughout the year, I needed it, you know.
Yeah.
And on all fronts, I really noticed I was behind on so many things, and I'm still behind on a lot of things. And I'm like, even now, I'm realizing like I have no idea how we did this in the past of,
To-
just
Totally.
hopping, like, doing 10, 12 countries a month. And it seems great, but it's unsustainable for your health, for your creativity, for the planet, on so many
Absolutely.
levels.
It
So
was it was such a, I had my first gig a few weeks ago, which was the first in like 15 months.
right,
And that gig, as well as the whole just being home, was such just a reality check on like, I mean, I love what I do. I'm so lucky to do what I do. And but it's just like kind of crazy. It's just absolutely
right,
crazy what we kind of do to ourselves. So it was nice to have a moment of reflection and peace and pause to recollect
right,
ourselves a little bit.
yeah.
But kind of back in the swing of things now, and recalibrating myself and figuring out how it all fits together.
That is one. And what I noticed, like right after I came back from Mexico the last time, it was like the first week or two that everything opened up in the States. So I had Miami, Chicago, and 3 shows in New York, and the energy was just incredible. Like everyone is
Yeah.
so thrilled to be out again and together. And there's a really, yeah, how do I say this? There's a really unique way that you can play with all of the emotions that are in the room, and
100%.
yeah,
What I saw on before I had a few gigs now, and before I had those gigs, I wasn't sure like, is the audience gonna want everything super hard and driving, or do they want it kind of like pulled
right,
back, and like stripped down? And when I was playing, I realized they want everything. Like they're
right,
just up
yeah.
for everything. Just give them everything, and they're just along for the ride and super positive vibes and just happy to be out. So it was really refreshing for me to get to touch a little bit of everything and all those emotions.
Well, also what I kind of noticed through the pandemic and playing through the pandemic is that, one, my sound changed a little bit in the sense that I started collecting a lot more stuff that was a bit more emotional and to the heart, and not so per se electronic based.
Mm.
But then I kind of realized that those thoughts that you said before, like, oh, do I want to push you or pumpy or they want slow or emotional or blah, 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 that I kind of realized like that before that all of that mind chatter wasn't necessary either.
Yeah.
Before, like, if you just played whatever it is that you liked, they probably, would have loved it the same way, so
Totally, and
it
and
was
and and related to that, I did a long set last weekend, and it was like 8 or 9 hours, and I realized most of the music I played was like old music, like 2 or 3 years old, and usually I'm very
right,
self conscious about that. Like I always need to be playing the fresh new stuff, whatever. But it was just so hard for me to keep up during the pandemic, and that was another realization. It's like, sometimes the heads and people like hearing fresh new stuff, but at the end of the day, people just want to hear good music, music that you believe in, music that works. And that kind of my thinking changed on that. It's like, don't stress so much over having the freshest new unreleased stuff. Just play good music, period, and that's all that
I
matters.
I spent a large part of my pandemic, and I'm still way not where I want to be, but just nurturing my garden and
Yeah,
deleting as much music as I could.
deleting
'Cause
music.
there's
Yeah,
like this is my motto now, like moving forward, like, and this is the same with promos and demos and these kind of things. Like the attention span for me has just gotten like really, really short in terms of how much music I can process. I got so many promos, and I have these batches where I try to go through them, and then I realize I've listened to 700 tracks, and I saved maybe 20, and out of those 23 I play, and it costs me like a day,
yep,
So, um, yeah, that's why I love receiving demos that just blow me away. That instantly you have like this feeling like, like a new weapon or a new thing to, like,
totally.
saves me time and energy space and headspace. And yeah,
Totally. One thing I've done with a couple friends, and I don't want to put you on the spot, is we'll do just like a music exchange. Like I'll put together like 10
right,
tracks that I love, and then my
yeah,
friend, maybe you put together 10 tracks, and we just do a trade. And it's such a great way just to filter out, all that crazy stuff and get a piece of someone else. But we can talk about that
right.
afterwards, see if you're up for
No,
it.
definitely, 100%. And I do
Uh,
this with a lot of people as well. And also I kind of like, the more you do it, the more you realize like, oh, what the one person is looking for, based
yeah.
on what they actually say. And I also tell everyone when I do these things, like, delete everything that you think is like nice, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, because if
Mm-hmm.
it's just nice, then yeah, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I try not to keep even the nice ones now,
Yeah. Just great music only. Yeah.
yes, yeah,
Cool. So let's jump into the demos. Just gonna go through my Discord chat. So yeah, for those
Let
of
me
you,
share this on my Instagram real quick.
yeah, go for it.
Is it just twitch.com/?
Twitch.tv/Atish Music.
Slash atish music.
So for the demos, if this is your first time joining Discord Demo Day, we're gonna try and go through as many demos as we can. Usually we don't make it through them all, but we'll do our best. And I'm gonna give priority demos to anyone who's supporting me on Patreon. So for the next one, if you want to get your demo jump to the top of the list, you can go to patreon.com/atishmusic. So for this one, I'm gonna jump Gutsbo to the top of the list. He's part of my artist mentorship program, actually. So let's start with him. And let's see what we got. Still loading here. All right. Ready, Duncan?
Yes.
Here we go. And yeah, as we go through, I'll be throwing out feedback. Just feel free to throw out your thoughts along the way, and I'll pause and we can discuss.
Amazing.
All right. Here we go.
I like it already that it doesn't start with a kick.
Yeah, it's got my attention, like going somewhere. Building energy here.
So far, I would play this.
Yeah, so far it's pretty nice. Oh, hey, Duncan, I'm hearing a little bit of echo, I think, from your monitors. If you get a chance, would you mind switching to headphones?
Yeah, right. Let me get one.
But yeah, so far.
Put it on, though.
All right, cool. So far, everything, my first thoughts, before we go forward, everything so far feels right to me. The thing is, I'm trying to think, like, what's the difference between a track feeling right and a track feeling great? And I think the one thing that's standing out to me is the textures feel like the melody is fine. So far, the arrangement is fine. It's building just fine. But to me, the textures feel very stock. I would love to hear, especially with that lead, dung, 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 dung. I would love to hear some more movement or evolution, or maybe even some complexity in that texture, just to kind of make it feel like a track that just doesn't get forgotten, in the wash of the rest of the.
Not only that, also what you say about that main thing that is in there the entire time, even with a little movement or panning or filtering that happens very smoothly or abruptly, it doesn't feel like the same sound continuously. And those things I notice in my productions really, then you have less the feeling that you want to keep adding more and more and more because there's already so much happening with one of your main sounds, which is in there the entire time. You know?
Yep, totally. So let's keep going. But just to clarify, everything feels correct, but maybe a little too correct. Layering nicely. I'm not getting bored by what I'm hearing. But it is kind of, I feel like it's layering nicely and it's building, but I wonder if it's going in the direction of what you kind of touched on, Duncan, about adding. Well, let's see if it gets to a point where it's added too many layers to fill the space rather than using the existing layers to kind of maximize. But I'm curious to see where it goes.
And I hear a lot of layering in terms of melodies. There's a lot of melodies and effects on top of each other, while the kick and the sort of like the groove kind of just remains consistent, which is not a bad thing. But there's a lot of ways to layer with that as well, without actually having to add more and more themes on top of themes.
Yep. All right, let's keep going. It's nice though. It's really nice music.
Definitely.
Any way you could get a session trumpet player or hire someone on Fiverr to play an actual trumpet part, that would be kind of cool.
Right.
Just an idea. Actually, Fiverr, I was talking on Tosh on the last stream, I think we were talking about this. Fiverr is actually a great resource for producers because you can find like a conga player in Brazil or a trumpet player in Vienna or whatever, and people, you just give them like a MIDI part or just like a synth part of what you want to do, and you can get someone to actually record like a session part pretty cheap, which can make your music
amazing.
Very personal, very real. So just throwing that out there for anyone, not just for this track.
Backtrack a little.
Yeah.
So before the break came in with the sort of rising snare risers, that kind of always, I don't know, like it's a personal thing, but I find it a little EDM-ish. It's not my favorite way to build tension up to a break. And also what I noticed, like if you drop into a break afterwards and you bring everything back at the same time, then it's maybe nicer not to introduce all of those parts already before, or do it the other way around. If you introduce everything before, then when you actually come to the drop or the main drop or whatever, to have it maybe just rely on the cool RP baseline that's in there with, one or two elements that it completely, you build, and then you have this sort of like, room for, I guess, energy and applause. And that's
absolutely. Yeah. One of the feedback points I make in line with you said is after the break, try to give the listener something new, and that could be an element they haven't heard before, or it could just be a combination of the previous elements in a new orientation that you haven't had, and that could be like stripping it down or maybe just removing one or two layers or something like that. But it should be something new for the listener. To your snare point, it's a it's a contentious topic. It's so funny with the snare rolls because they usually work. I mean, they amp up a dance
Right.
floor, they get excited, but it does veer on that side of, I guess you could say, tropey or sometimes cheesy. And it's totally a personal call, but I would say as a
At the same time, anyone who's using this Pioneer FX controller from Plex to who name it, I see them doing it all the time, and it works, like you say,
Mhm.
But I think if you do it, then spend a lot of time on the snares to make sure that it's a rare snare, that it's processed in a really, really unique way, and that element in itself jumps out of you, out of the mix in a really unique way, instead of just, oh, it's a snare roll and that and it does its trick or something, like I would be. This is one thing that I really enjoy about not at the snare rolls, but the way that B. Svensson does his snares. They're really, you hear that they're classy.
Mhm. Mhm.
They have a soul, and they have a thing, and that, like, for years I didn't really realize it until we had a conversation about it. But then when I started to listen to his music, I heard, like, that's what I'm not paying attention to. Same with my hats. I was just, it was a nice hat, but I didn't really actually, try 50 different hats to figure out, what tonality of the hat or the snare could make such a difference.
Absolutely.
Um,
Cool. So let's just jump back a few seconds. Let's go through the snare roll again, and then
right.
see
Yeah.
how it develops from there. I thought that was an interesting stylistic choice, which I thought was kind of cool. It also has this like really strong swing on that little kind of roll, and I didn't expect that swing. I wouldn't even say it felt out of place. It was just kind of like a pleasant surprise that it had this strong string when the rest of the track isn't that swung. So
Yeah,
a
nice.
nice little thing that I thought was cool. I feel like those two leads in the highs are fighting for the same space in the EQ spectrum. Like, there's a lot going on, and if you have different parts kind of countering off each other, try and have them sit at different places in the frequency spectrum. That do 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 and do 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 do. They're just like clashing and trying to compete for attention, in my opinion.
Fighting.
Yeah.
My opinion also is there's a lot of different things that are making key changes. So there's like 3 or 4 different sounds that are all separately from each other making key changes, but not necessarily all going to the same sort of place. So there's like maybe that one can just remain steady as it is in the
Mm.
main key, because the other things are also changing and moving and fighting for space. And then if everything is changing, then it's, for the listener, it's just too much to listen to, I guess, or to follow, I guess.
Yeah. Try and strip down the number of ideas necessary, and sometimes less movement can create more energy. Yeah, I would agree with that. I've just in the interest of time, I'm gonna jump to the next one, but I feel like we've kind of got a good point of what's going on here. My overall thoughts. I feel like the melodic ideas are super solid. Arrangement wise, it's kept my attention, but I guess my top level point would be try and see if you can do a little bit more with less, shaping textures more, making them more interesting, so you don't have to layer so much and have things fight to capture attention.
Yeah, and also try to keep that, like, the first minute or so is super, like, it was super, how do I say this, intriguing. There was a lot of, like, I was wondering where I was going, and it was emotional, and it was like, like, and then after, there's so much that comes after it that I can't even remember what the beginning part was. While
Mm-hmm.
that, I always have it in a lot of my tracks too, where I figured out that the last bar of the entire track is my favorite. But and then I realized it's actually the most stripped down part of the track, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be my advice, to kind of look at that part as well, because I really enjoyed that part at the beginning.
Cool. Right on. Thanks, Godspo. Hopefully there's some helpful ideas in there. Next one, we're gonna bump Drew Proud to the top of the list for his gracious support on Patreon. And ready to jump in?
Definitely.
Let's do
He
it.
was a good friend from New York.
Oh, right on.
It's a bit difficult for me to hear because it's like skipping. So
Oh, I just got a notification that my internet connection is unstable. Let me just do a quick connection speed test and see if it's. Let's see how bad it is. How embarrassing. I am on a hardwired Ethernet connection. Let's see. Download seems good. Well,
I have 150.
ooh, upload is not very good, but that's also because I'm running a stream. Well, let's try it. Duncan, I may disable my video with you, so you won't be able to see me. And that may open up a little bit more in the
Right.
stream. But
And if
let's.
not, you can also send me the
Yeah,
SoundCloud link.
yeah, I can do
That's
that.
to the last resort.
Cool. So let's try once more, and if it doesn't work, I'll try disabling video. Otherwise, I'll just send you the link, and then we'll sync up.
Right.
Is it any better?
No, no,
Okay. I'm gonna stop my video with you. Still bad?
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right. I will send you the link over WhatsApp. And this is what happens. Live internet.
Right. Let's see. Where are you? And then what is the best way to do it in terms of listening?
I think I will just say that we're hitting play at the same time. And then if we say we want to pause it, we'll just assume that we're pausing around the same time. And then I'll say, hey, I'm resuming in 1 minute. And then, maybe you just jump to 1 minute, and let's try it, try and keep in sync that way.
I'm just trying to figure out it's not so much the same time kind of thing. It's more, how do I listen to this song without also hearing the audio from you coming through the stream?
I will disable my screen sharing, so you won't receive the audio from my browser.
Okay, but will the rest still hear it then?
Yes. Yeah, I have my streaming software capturing it directly from my browser.
Okay, amazing. Okay,
Right,
cool.
so let's try that. Nice. I'm going to stop sharing. Sorry, everyone, for these technical difficulties. Oops. I lost you on the live stream. Let me just fix your video on the live stream. This is, wrong Zoom window. There we go. Okay, now let me fix your window size. It will be a little bit hacky, but we'll get the point across. There's
like this.
There's okay. Duncan in this ghetto ass window on the stream, but we do what we can here. It's about the music. The music is number one. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna start. I sent you the link. Did you receive it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's just start from 0.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Ready, set, go.
I still hear you though.
Fuck.
Let's see. What if I turn off my video?
Let's try it.
Let's try again. Just from when you play from
Okay.
your player.
How is it?
Glitchy. Oh,
Well,
that's better now.
what I am confused about is why you're hearing my audio because I'm not sharing screen. So that is quite confusing, and I'm going to close my browser window. Maybe it's still connected. I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of bug going on. I'm going to close this browser window. Going to open it up again. Let's see. Do you still hear it?
I still hear it. Yes.
God damn it. Shit. I am sweating right now. Trying to think of some other ideas here. How bad is it? Is it so bad you can't give feedback?
Well, it's like yeah, how do I say it? It's like skipping half of the beat. So it's
Oh
just
yeah, that's terrible.
you know, like yeah.
That's absolutely terrible.
Let me see.
I am actually just baffled as to why it's sending my SoundCloud audio to. Oh wait, do you have a Twitch window open or anything?
Yeah, but that one's muted.
It's muted. Fuck. Let me see what my input is.
I can close it just to be sure. You press play one more time. Yeah, I still hear it, unfortunately.
All right, let's see what we can do here. Let me check my Zoom audio settings. Why is it?
Drew, I started following you, so that's a bonus.
Let's see. Trying to think of some creative ideas here. I'm actually just baffled as to why you're hearing my audio. The other option is I can try just listening to the. Oh no, but I want to make sure everyone at home hears the audio.
Yeah.
Okay. One latch ditch request. Let's. I think this might be a Zoom bug because it's still carrying the audio. Do you want? I'm gonna end the Zoom session. Let's start a new one.
Yeah.
And then let's just see if the issue goes away. And I'll WhatsApp you the new Zoom session link. All right.
Cool. All right.
Sorry, everybody. Technology is weird. Okay. Participants invite. Okay. Copy invite link. Let's go to WhatsApp. And let's get Duncan on the horn here. Okay, my WhatsApp's not loading. All right, send him the new WhatsApp link, the new Zoom link. He should join any second here. Oh, you see myself twice on here. And let's see if he joins. And if this doesn't work, I guess I'll just completely kill. Maybe I'll just completely kill Chrome while I'm at it too. All right.
All right.
Okay, you are back.
You are muted on Zoom.
Okay, I am back.
There you go.
I also killed Chrome. Maybe it's a Chrome bug.
Right.
And let me get Drew Proud's thing open once more.
When I play mine, do you hear it from my side? No,
nope,
no.
I do not. And
right.
now I'm going to. Did you hear that from my side?
Yes, but let's see if
fuck? What the fuck? Oh.
Maybe it means I need to get another beer.
Yeah, it could be that. Wow, I am absolutely.
All right, well, maybe try it again. Maybe now, like the stream, because the first one did fine.
Yeah, who knows? Is it still terrible? Oh, no.
How's it listening for the rest of the listeners, though?
Yeah, I'll ask on Twitch. Hey, everyone listening at home, how's the audio quality? Duncan
Or
here.
just is it jumpy? Because it's not
There's
so much the quality. It's just
they're
like
they're saying it sounds great.
ah, I don't
Can you
understand.
run a connection
Maybe
speed test on your end?
yes. Let me see.
So I guess there's two things. One, why is it jumpy? And two, why the why the fuck are you still hearing the audio from my SoundCloud window? Absolutely weird.
I have 200 Mbps.
Oh wow, that's definitely strong enough. Well, okay, I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm turning on original sound. I don't know. Still bad?
Not really.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, this works.
All right. That's good. All right. So should we just keep going?
Yes.
Great. Cool chunky groove.
Definitely.
Ooh. Ooh. That was cool.
I also like the little scream, the little ah.
I'm just gonna pause here for a second. Let's just check in on how we're feeling because we're both pretty silent. I've been silent just because I've been soaking everything in.
I like the groove and I like the bass line a lot. I like the screaming little ah that comes every now and then. I do think the melody that is on top comes like a lot. It's like really repetitive, and it's maybe if it's spread out a little bit more, it would how do I say this? It wouldn't be too. I'm not sure what the English word is. I just think it could be less often, I guess.
I actually completely agree with your feedback. I would like to add that texture, that that mainly I love that texture a lot. I think it's super cool. The overall vibe of the track, and Drew, you know, we've talked about this. You have this kind of like late 2000s like throwback kind of electro vibe, which I really like. It reminds me of this like 2008, 2009 like kind of electro feel, which for me is very nostalgic and very nice. But you have a fresh take on it with kind of a house angle on it, which I think is really cool. But I digress. I love that lead texture a lot. Either, you know, as Duncan said, it's too much or it's too repetitive. I love the texture. I'm just not hooked in by the melody. I think, especially maybe even early in the track, you could just do maybe a couple hits with that texture, and you know, maybe have some delay tails or whatever, and just see how that
Exactly.
lands, or
Yeah.
filter it in really slowly. That's the kind of the most obvious way to do it. But I'm just doubling down what you're saying,
And
Duncan.
even even in that, what we said earlier as well, that even on, if you want to have it the entire time, put something over it that is either moving, or a filter that closes up and down, or it's panning in a certain way, that either like that it's not that it doesn't feel like it's like 100 times the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's moving over time, so
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. But I personally love the texture choice. Whoa! Wow! Okay, let's pause there. Um, Thoughts on the vocal and where we are now?
One, it's really difficult for me to hear because it's glitching
Fuck.
like crazy again, so that really sucks.
Fuck.
But from what I could hear, that little vocal part right after the drop, or that little mini drop,
Mm-hmm.
those are the kind of things for me that that I would choose a track for, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a surprise and it works and it's short and it's like it hits you in your face and then it's gone again. It kind of leaves you asking for more. So, yeah, from what I could hear, I really like it.
Cool. Oh wait, 1 second. Someone's saying something to me in Discord. Oh, my track window is frozen. It looks like it's the browser window is frozen, but I guess I'm just making sure they can still hear it. Oh yeah, they can still hear it.
Is there something on my end maybe that is causing too much data to go through Zoom? Like if I switch to say like a simpler camera and a normal microphone,
Yeah, yeah.
is
Let's.
that sending less like data back and forth or
It's
something?
possible. Doesn't hurt to go with the simpler camera. You still look good. Um. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me
Let's just
see.
give that a go.
Also the mic maybe.
I don't think so. And also, Zoom is usually smart enough to know how much to compress what it's sending based off the connection speed.
Right.
It
Okay. Well,
should
let's
be.
try this for the rest of the track, see,
Yeah.
because it's really difficult.
All right. Yeah. Bummer. But yeah, let's see what we can do. There it is again. So my thoughts on that, Duncan, I know you liked it. To me, the kind of let's just call, for lack of a word, the ethno vocal samples. It feels a little. I think it will work. I think it's really in style. Sometimes it's done really well, and sometimes it feels a little tropey to me.
Right.
My 2 cents. It feels in this case it feels a little tropey. I think you had my attention in this track without it. And this is one again, just a very, very personal taste. I think this track could still shine without having to put that in there. But I
Right.
think it would work, and I think it is on point stylistically for what a lot of people are listening to and what's being played.
Or do it once and do it in a quirky way and have it come in and out in a weird sort of like a crazy effect that goes out and it's just a one element of the track and then it's never there again, because
Yeah.
as soon as you start repeating it, then a lot of the attention goes there.
Yeah.
Just for my personal notes, where is this original audio button? Is this something
Um,
that I can do on my side as well?
it should be if you hover over if you can hover over like where you see my face.
Yeah.
Usually it pops up in the top left corner. And in the meantime, I'm actually just fixing this. This SoundCloud window is frozen, so I'm trying to fix it. Today's just a comedy of errors, everyone. Just technical errors all over the place. So I apologize. Hopefully, we can get through these in the next few minutes, so we can focus on the music. It really is a joke, but I hope you all stick with me here. Okay, crop top by 150. Crop bottom by 150. All right, this is good enough. It's a bit of a disaster, but hopefully it works. All right, cool. Let's keep going. And Duncan, just acknowledging audio is shitty for you, but let's try and I don't know what else to do, man. But I guess we just hope it improves.
Yeah, sometimes there's like a smooth run. So let's hope that the camera thing also kind of fixes it. I don't see this audio thing though.
Oh, okay. You have to go to preferences.
Yeah.
Then go audio, and then go
Yeah.
to advanced. No, I'm sorry, it's not advanced.
Yeah.
Then there's the option music and professional audio. Check
Ah,
show
show.
in me
Yeah,
nodding.
okay, exactly.
So everyone, I'm going to take responsibility
Okay.
for this. I should have during our tech setup told Duncan to set this up beforehand. So this is my fault. But let's hope this fixes it.
I'm not a Zoomer, guys and girls.
So
Give me one quick second. But I found the button, so that's on. So let's hope it fixed it.
all right.
Important little addition. All right.
All right, let's pray that we're back and that it works. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to go back to the previous break because there was a lot of action happening there, and I was so distracted by the technical difficulties I didn't get to properly listen. Here we go. So I'll pause it here. Did any better?
Unfortunately
No.
not.
Oh well.
No. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I can still hear the track. It's just like, yeah, it's difficult. It's glitchy, like really glitchy.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give my feedback on it so far, and then I think just from this point, I mean, we could spend the next hour trying to debug it. So either we can try this on another day, or if you I might just finish it out just giving solo feedback
Well, that also, and I mean, while you're talking, I can actually just listen to the link here. You don't hear the player right now, right?
Oh no,
No. Okay.
no.
So then I can just skip through it, and
All right.
you can talk to everyone at home.
All right, I'll try and be more lengthy in my diatribes then. So, my thoughts overall, I like the ideas. I again I like your feel. You have a style that has this throwback kind of electro vibe, which is super cool. I'm not like fully, oops, I'm not like fully hooked in the groove. For me, it's like a little. It feels a little choppy, but that could be like a stylistic choice. But it doesn't get my like head properly bobbing, but that could just be a stylistic choice. The same thing, the thing I said about the lead sound, that stands. I think one new thing that I have to offer is, and I think you're very good at this because I've heard some of your other work, Drew. You're good at throwing in like accessories and like flourishes and accents that kind of engage a track and give it life. I actually feel that this one, it's actually throwing like too many ideas and too many flourishes at me, and it's kind of like crowding it up a little bit, where that could also be contributing to me like having trouble kind of locking in the groove a little bit. But I think the lead sound is, for me, that's kind of what's shining through. It got my attention. The vocal sample, we touched on that before. It's not exactly for me. I think you could get away without it, but I don't think it's the wrong choice. I think it'd do okay. I think it'd do
Yeah, I
well.
agree. I agree. I agree with a lot of things. One, I think the mix is super solid from what I can hear here, so that's a good point and a good starting point. The groove is, like you say, it's everything is very much forward. Hats are super straight. Everything is super straight. So maybe if you can give a little bit of swing there, make all the hats just a little bit of a different timing, and maybe over time, like in a 16 bar, have some little things change in the groove as well. That all of these little things give it more life and more like a human feel. Like right now, everything is very much this, and then you're gonna try to find that groove in other elements like the melody or that. And if there's more of a swing and a groove in the groove itself, then you'll also find that you won't need as many elements on top in order to stay hooked on the groove.
Yeah, cool.
I'm also just realizing that my mic is here and I'm talking like this way. But
No
hi.
worries.
Sorry.
I think it's all, any technical glitches at this point are par for course.
Right.
So it's part of the game. I fixed the browser streaming issue, so let me just properly.
And somebody in the Discord just sent a link to TogetherTube, and if I look on the website, it says watch videos and listen to music together, synchronized playback, powerful moderation tool, and a voting system.
Oh.
TogetherTube is easy to use and a lot of fun, and no need to sign up.
All right. I'm going to keep that in mind for next time. It could.
Right.
I don't want to go through this process of setting up new software or something.
Right.
But okay, cool. So let's jump to. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you submitting that. Really cool ideas in there.
Super nice.
Oh, he
I would
says
love
just
to-
paste SoundCloud links in there and we'll solve all the problems. Okay, fine. I'm trying TogetherTube. Fine. Create your room. Oh boy. Oh god. Okay. I'm going to politely pass and look into that for next time. I think it will help. I'm just gonna quickly jump into the next demo. Hopefully we can get to 2 or 3 more, at least. And maybe these connection issues will magically resolve themselves. It didn't happen for the last couple of streams, but who knows? Okay, so Duncan, I'm going to WhatsApp you the link to the next one that I'm listening to.
Nice.
Once my WhatsApp opens here. This one is from Howl, Behind Her Eyelids. All right, just sent you the link, and I'm just going to start listening while you load that up.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Oh, cool. you got my attention so far. I'll just say that much.
Same.
Yeah, just yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah, this is cool. Yep, good, good, good. Yeah. All right, let's pause here for a second. Duncan, you've been having good luck with the
It's glitchy, but the first minute or so was good, and I can kind of listen through it. But so
Okay.
far, I really like it a lot. I like
Yeah.
the way that the percussion comes forward. I like the groove. I like it, it's sort of like it gives me like a late night, like the early 2000s sort of. I have a lot of. It sounds like a lot of stuff I have on vinyl from back in the day.
Cool. Yeah, I like it so far. I like all the elements musically. It's probably really hard for you to hear, Duncan, but for me, I think the mix, to me, it sounds like really compressed, and I feel like the bass sound is really fighting with some of the percussion. Um, we usually don't spend a lot of time giving mix down feedback here, so just leave it, a high level point. See if you can create more space for your bass, and I wonder how heavily saturated you have some of those elements, because I think I actually remember you sent the track before, and I might have said there. For me, I think having dynamics in music makes it more interesting, and I feel like a lot of the dynamics are kind of squashed out a bit. But I like the musical ideas a lot. So
I hear
far.
the same too, and there's these 808 toms in there that are catching. They're taking up a lot of low end. So yeah, we would definitely try to mask those with the bass line and make room for each and sidechain lightly, but preferably do it in the EQ spectrum and not even have to go into the sidechaining world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Let's keep going. Kind of lost me here a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll address after we make it through the breakdown. Okay, so lots to unpack there from the breakdown. Um, so the first thing is, I think before we even got into the break, I feel like the track, you had me in the first main, section main groove of the track. You had my attention, and then it felt like it just kind of like fell apart, like right around here. Like I felt like you just started like muting elements or just dropping them kind of in a very predictable way, but it didn't feel like glued together. So one, when we kind of got into the break, I felt like it was just kind of deconstructing in a way that it felt unfinished. One way you could combat that if you want to continue with this arrangement idea is maybe you have, the most basic thing is you just have like a long noise whoosh, or you have some kind of texture kind of sound that kind of glues the whole thing together so it doesn't just feel like things are being muted. And then, when we got into the breakdown, like especially like right here, it just felt like it felt like it just felt really dry to me, even though you had like the hi-hats going on in the background. There were a couple of things going on there, but I just felt like the energy just kind of got sucked out, and it just felt like unpolished or unfinished. And then it kind of like, builds back up and gets that back in there. But this, to me, I think is a section that can definitely use some development getting into the breakdown.
Yeah, and I would keep the bass line going or
Oh, yeah.
something in the low end. Like you have either the bass line or the toms, and they give a lot of energy. Like just keep that in for a little bit, and then you can always filter it out and take out some low end and whatnot. But I do notice a lot when breaks get really really quiet, people stop dancing, and it sucks when this happens
Yeah, yeah.
to some degree.
Guys, just as a quick thing, I'm gonna try TogetherTube for the next one. But it looks like TogetherTube doesn't work for private links. So any of you who have your demos on here that you shared in Discord, can you temporarily make them public? And then I think we can use TogetherTube, which will solve Duncan and I's streaming problems.
That would be amazing.
Hopefully. Yeah,
By now I'm getting like
yeah,
sound-wise,
it
so.
sucks for you. Sorry, man. But hopefully we'll
No worries.
resolve this. All right, let's keep going. Let's make it back into the groove. And then just in the interest of time, we'll try and get through a few more demos.
I like that sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it hits nicely when it comes back in, for sure. Cool. So I think we can take a guess. What the rest of the track will sound like. My thoughts overall, I think it's strong, nice groove. Those vocal touches are nice sounds in there. Pretty solid overall. I just think some work to be done in the mix, particularly, and the breakdown to kind of keep me hooked in.
I like it a lot too. I like the way it comes back in, and I also skipped forward a little bit. In about around 6 minutes or so, there's a new bass line that comes in that ties it all together really nice. But yeah, overall, I really like it. I would play this.
Awesome. Hey, that's a big vote of confidence right there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm going to jump to the next one. It looks like people are. So I'm trying this watch together, but it looks like it's not working with private links. The problem, understandably, is many people don't want their demos to be public because it shows up in people's stream, and I wouldn't want my demos public either, so I don't blame anyone for that. But I'm going to try the second link here in in this Watch Together app, and let's see if it's loading. It's loading.
At the same time, though, if like 3-4 people on your channel like listen to a track, then you know.
Yeah.
And somehow you can send it to me privately or to both of us. I'm happy to give feedback also to any of you guys outside of the stream.
That's very kind of you. Yeah, it's just kind of freezing up when I try and give it a private link. I'm going to try one more link. Let's see. No items found. What can you do?
Can you check one more time if the audio that you are playing that doesn't come my way? Because if like that's kind of the issue. Because I could totally listen to them easily on the links themselves.
Yeah, I'm baffled why it's sending it to you. I mean, I'm truly baffled why. I restarted Chrome. I restarted Zoom, and my input on Zoom. I'm going to change my input on Zoom. It's coming from my Universal Audio Thunderbolt. I'm going to just have Zoom come from this other microphone I have. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's just see what happens. Did it still pipe SoundCloud into you?
Yeah.
Fuck. You know, I'm also using this loopback audio thing, which reroutes some of my sound, but it's not sending... It's definitely not sending Chrome to... I think next time I will not use Zoom, because clearly there's some really bad bug going on here. Let's see. I'm going to try one more thing. Let's see. Still getting it?
No, not really. No.
Oh.
No.
Okay, I changed it to a different microphone, so now I have one mic for stream, one mic for you, and some kind of bug in my sound card or whatever. So, okay, cool. So we can just both co-listen. You listen on yours, I'll listen on mine.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
cool. Let's power through some demos, guys.
Yeah, let's send me some links.
Okay. This next one I'm gonna do is from Frank It Zero. I'll open WhatsApp and send it to you, or if you just want to scroll up a few pages, Duncan, to Frank It Zero. My WhatsApp loads very slowly in my browser.
Scroll up where? In the...
Oh, in my Discord channel.
Ah, okay.
Or I'll send it on WhatsApp once that opens.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you everyone for patiently powering through on these technical difficulties, but oh, I'm not ready yet. But appreciate the patience. And once again, hosting Unders, friend of mine, great DJ, great producer, runs a great label, Happy Camper Records, and he's being a great sport here with all the technical difficulties we're dealing with, but has really great feedback and really great music. So, okay, you got it good on your side, Duncan?
I think so. Is it Atrisco?
Yes.
Caminata? Yes, let's go for it.
All right, ready, set, play.
Yeah.
And then just let me know when you want to pause and vice versa.
Cool. This is so much better. You have no idea.
Awesome, great. We figured it out.
This is like a whole nother world. You have no idea.
This is super nice. Duncan, let's pause when we get to the break.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'm in the break.
All right. Are you pausing?
Yeah, I'm paused. All right,
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
let you go first this time. First thoughts?
I think the bottom end of the groove sounds super solid. So the kick and the bass line, I think you could take out a little bit of sub. I know you don't get into the mix stuff, but I listen to mix a lot, so I would remove a little bit of subbiness from the bass line, but I really like that. The melody, I think it could improve a little bit. I think the beginning starts super solid, and then when the melody comes in, I kind of like I'm not really sure if it's in key or off key a little bit. I'm not the best at it, but it feels a little, yeah, for me. But the rest of the groove is super solid, and up until this 2 minutes, I was very intrigued.
Cool. My thoughts so far, I like it a lot. The groove is definitely shining through. I didn't, to me personally, the melody didn't feel wrong. I feel like there's some like detuning going on, which I think is kind of cool. This is not a criticism. It's just a room for. That melody could even be like a little bit more kind of haunting. I'm not sure where this is going.
Right.
We'll see. But like, I feel like for me, like the melody is kind of scratching the surface of. I'm very curious to hear where it goes, and I hope it goes somewhere. But for me, I'm fully on. I'm fully in. I'm fully on board with what I'm hearing so far, and I
Nice.
agree with Duncan's mixed feedback as well. Okay, I'm gonna resume from 210. Let me know if you're
Nice.
ready.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so it's more of an uplifting kind of thing. Uplifting and haunting at the same time, kind of.
I like this. Whatever's happening.
Wow. I'm gonna pause at 3:55. Okay.
All right. All right.
Man, this is really interesting, and I see a few people in the Twitch. They're like, I want to hear this on Halloween. Halloween vibes. It's walking this like really interesting line for me, and I can't even. I'm just gonna dispute top of mind. I don't even know if I like it, but it's very interesting. Where it's haunting. It has this haunting like Halloween vibe, but it also has this like uplifting kind of ascending kind of notes. I think it's a minor key, but it has like kind of a major feel in some ways. I don't know what it is, but it feels uplifting and haunting at the same time, or even like it has a playful feel and it's spooky at the same time, like a kid's Halloween song almost. But the groove is fucking sick.
It's like a happy Halloween.
Yes, yeah. It's
Happy Halloween.
the groove is sick.
I really liked what was happening, like for the build up out of the break, and this is
Yeah.
kind of what we were talking about before. Like it was a different way to kind of go to the drop, and then when the drop came, it kind of stripped down, and it was solid and straight and forward, and then there was room for a new sound, and I really like that approach.
Cool. Yeah, and just to wrap, actually, I'll save my feedback for the end because I'm just still trying to like digest what's going on here because it's really interesting to me musically. All right, let's keep going. So I'm at 3:55. 3, 2, 1, play. We need like a wolf howling in the background.
But that's what you. Nice.
It's just a sick groove. Fucking fat. I'm gonna pause it at 5:50. All right, I paused it at
All right.
5:50. All right, so I think I'm gonna I'll give. You want to give closing thoughts, or should I give closing thoughts?
I still stand by what I said earlier. I think everything else is like the mix down is super solid. So whatever he's doing or whatever room he's doing this in, this is great. Like this sounds really, really exactly how it should be in balance in terms of the groove and the low end and everything just sounds exactly where it should be. I personally have this issue with the melody, and I wouldn't mind hearing the same thing with exactly the same sounds with just a different MIDI uh, chord structure. I guess just to try it out because I think there's only two or three things that are actually creating this melody, and I would be very curious to hear it with a different approach.
Cool. My closing thoughts. Yeah, melodically, it's like pretty weird. It's different. This is not something I would play most gigs. I would probably play this like around Halloween time, just because it's pretty like off kilter. But I would also be curious if you did what Duncan said and try a reconfiguration. But this this has a it just doesn't sound like everything else to me, and I always appreciate hearing something that I can bob my head to that doesn't sound like everything else, even if I don't love it, because it's just so hard to differentiate what you're doing from the rest of the pack in this scene. So it's kind of like when
Weird
I go
is
to,
good.
yeah, weird is good. It's kind of like when I go to a museum. Like I don't necessarily like everything I see in a museum, but I might appreciate it that it's there for what it's trying to do and it's doing something unique. But there are lots of things I like here. I don't know. Just I would actually maybe after this I would actually just be curious to hear some of your other productions to see if you have similar out of the box melodic motifs. Because I'm pretty interested by it. But yeah, really cool stuff here. The groove is great. I would not forget this track if I heard it on a dance floor. I'll say that much for sure.
Right. Yeah. Which is also good. You know?
Yeah. What do they say? Like the worst thing you can do in art isn't for someone to hate it, but for someone just to ignore it. You know?
Right.
All right. So Duncan, I'm gonna send you a link to the next one. All right, we're in a groove here. You know, no technical interruptions, no hiccups.
This works great.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea how much different it sounds than what I heard before. So the other guys as well. Like if I said anything about the mix or anything on the first 2-3 tracks, ignore it to some degree.
Cool. Okay, so Sturge, you have Sturged testimony, right?
Yeah.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, play.
like this.
Yeah, I like that scratchy violin sound. That's cool. And strip groove. I feel like something serious is going to happen.
Also a bit spooky.
Yes.
Hats could be a bit louder.
Yeah, the mix. Yeah, I mean, it says it's a pre-master, but I think some work can be done on the mix overall. This is a groove that could be like fat in my face, you know?
Right. Those percussion sounds like like one of them is not really on in the groove timing. Kind of feels like they're hicking up a little bit. Maybe that's the point.
There's a snare roll. All right, I'm gonna pause it here at 3:27.
Exactly.
Cool. 3:25. You want to go first? Should I go first?
You can go first.
I think this is on to something. It has a feel that's relevant. Kind of right now there's this kind of actually I don't really know what's going on right now. I haven't been out much, but it has this indie kind of electro feel thing. It has a little bit of the like organic kind of let's, for lack of a better word, the ethno vocals. I don't feel like it's hitting me over the top with it. I don't feel like it's done in a cheesy way. It's very stripped, which I like. Unfortunately, with the mix, it's with a good mix down, and if you saturate things properly, if this was fat and in my face, like I think this can be very powerful because I think you have the right elements chosen in a stripped back way where it has potential to really, really be super beefy. I just don't feel that. I mean, there's not a subwoofer, so I can't literally feel it in my chest, but I feel like it's onto something and it has the right elements and potential.
And I would lean on this strippedness, like because I whatever the groove is in the beginning, you could listen to that for hours, and I think the more you throw on top of it, the more that gets diluted, and then there is like some. I also like it that the hats aren't super straight; they kind of come in and then they're gone again, and I really like that, but they need to be louder and brighter and more in your face because there's not that many in there, but when they do come in, it needs to have its own presence in the mix. But yeah. That's it for now, I guess.
Yeah. It has I guess it feels like because you're not trying to do too much, as many producers, myself included, do, it has like a sophisticated feel. There's kind of this thing when you have a track that's a banger and it doesn't have too many elements, it's almost a feel of like confidence. It's like, we don't need all this extra junk. It's just a fat fucking groove, and it rocks. I love those kind of tracks.
I'm trying to finish a remix that I'm making for Wild Dark for Bedouin's label, and I just this afternoon I figured out I only put 5 channels on solo, and then I was like, oh, hey, this is maybe this is enough. And there's literally like 40 channels that are not on. So
that's awesome.
I realized that I need to less is more.
Totally. Yeah, great placement can greatly outweigh quantity of things going on.
Right. All right, let's continue.
Yep. Okay, so I'm at 325. 3, 2, 1, go.
And the main sound is super ravey. That could be the element of the track, you know?
Yeah.
That sound can also be much louder.
That's a really cool sample.
Yeah.
Nice. Great shaker choice. All right, we'll make it through the second break, and then I'll stop after that.
Go.
Okay, I'll stop at 457.
Go.
Cool. I mean, I think.
First,
Sorry, go ahead.
First of all, I think I've met this guy before. Looking at his face the entire time while I'm listening to the track, I feel like I've interacted with him at some point. Second, concerning the mix, like I think arrangement wise, if this is mixed properly, you're there, you know, and it can be solid and ravey, and I would play it actually. Also on the mix tip, I've spent many years trying to get the mix right and like really just spending countless days and weeks on a track and through the process of trying to get the mix right, kind of ruining the track because I continuously edit little things and kind of break down this original amazing idea until version 25, and then I listened back to the first version and then I realized it was already there. It was only the mix that needed fixing and not all the little mini changes that I did in between. For the last 2 years or 3 years, I've been working together with NorIQ. This is the one of the characters I run Happy Campers with. So I run Happy Campers together with Brita Arnold and with NorIQ. He also does stem mixing for a lot of people, and since I've been working with him, it's been incredible how much creativity I can actually spend on arranging and selecting sounds and finding energy in tracks and the elements and in the creative aspect, as opposed to trying to and master that and master the mixing and master the mastering and master the DJing and master everything else. You know, I've come to realize that working with someone like him, it's I've learned so incredibly much, and it almost feels like since we are playing Mario Kart, it kind of feels like you're running into a mushroom and you're like, you know, your whole track is here now, and once you get it back from him, you get it there, and the most amazing part about it is that he actually gives you feedback on what he does. So he tells you, hey, I upped the kick by 4 dB, I turned that one down, I removed everything under there, hey, your snare was, you know, 7 centitones down, and because I made it, I moved it up 7, it became much louder, and I could hence put the volume down. So in the future, like, look at these type of things, you know. So I would advise actually everyone that is at that stage where they really feel that the track is amazing as it is, to look around in your network, or even work with him, or work with other people to see how they would approach the mixdown, just to get an idea of how different it could be if you have somebody else's ears. Because this, for me, I wish I did that 10-15 years ago. I can't stress enough how much how far that got me actually, and how much I learned.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna quickly just double down on what you said. I think some producers, maybe there's a fear like, oh, if I have someone mixing down my work, then it's like, is that like a ghost producing, or I should do all the engineering, I should do everything. Honestly, it's up to you. I mean, focus on what's most interesting to you. I send my work off to another engineer for mixdowns, and he's great at giving feedback. Some of the last few tracks I gave to Jay Tripwire, he did some mixdowns, and one, it does all the work that I'm not interested in doing and that will take years and years for me to develop and get good at. And two, we get on the phone and he just gives me feedback saying, hey, next time try doing this, and this is what I had to do. And there's no shame in getting extra help and having someone do a mix down, because that's a whole other art form in itself. And just focus on what you find most exciting, what you find most interesting, because if you try and do everything, you're never going to be great at anything. So
it'll give you such a boost in the studio. Like if you hear it back and then you can play it out and it sounds super solid, and you're like, it gives you confidence also.
Yeah.
And with that confidence, you go into the next track and you're, you already have sort of, it's like a little sidekick on the side where like, oh hey, it's gonna get twice as good, or it's gonna get that upgrade in the end anyways, and I don't have to worry about it. And yeah.
Yep, we're on the same page. So, yeah, get the help where you can. All right, so
Nice.
we're going to jump to the next one. This is from Terrell. I don't know where I recognize you from. Either we played together somewhere, or maybe Soul Mob. That name sounds so familiar. Maybe you booked me at one of your parties. Anyway, name sounds familiar. Your face looks familiar. I think we know each other. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a good-looking gentleman.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump to 1 second. I'm going to jump to the beginning. 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Bowsy. Kick is super bossy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sick.
Fill it out.
Nice.
Fill it out.
Nice to get some techno in here.
Fill it out. Fill it out. Now,
Oh,
I've heard trombone, piano, on microphone. I'm not to know, but that's okay, because ain't nothing like that bass. Ain't nothing like that. Ain't nothing like that bass. Ain't nothing like that. Oh no, ain't nothing like that. Like that. You like that, don't you? You like that, don't you? You love that, don't you? Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing. Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? You love that, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? You love that, don't you?
Super fucking nice.
yeah. All right, I'm going to stop it at 2:12. I really don't want to stop it because I'm fucking rocking out over here.
That's a good sign. First of all, I want to know, like, is it the sample is self-recorded? Is it something sampled? Are there rights issues with this sample? Because this boss, like, I would sign this.
Yeah, I mean, my feedback is like, this is awesome. I usually don't play like super hard, but there are times when I do, and it has like a hard fucking fat bass drum, but it has this like soulful. I mean, I'm just stating the obvious. I mean, this is just, it's ace. I mean, I have nothing to add. This is ace.
Nice. Let's continue.
3,
I'm very curious.
2, 1, go.
Fill it out.
He said all original vocals.
Amazing.
Fill it out.
Sick. Oh shit!
Don't you?
Fuck.
You love that, don't you? Don't you? You love that, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? You love that, don't you?
Oh shit. Oh man, I love this. I love this. Sick. This is awesome. We're listening all the way to the end. I have to hear all of it.
Nice.
Yo, this, if played on a massive stage at a festival, would rip. People would go. I can just like visualize, someone just ripping this at a festival with thousands of people just losing their shit. This is
Yeah.
A plus, in my opinion.
Yeah. The whole record, she's like, "You love it, don't you?" Yeah, I love it. Really,
Man.
really nice. I'm gonna share this with Brita and with Yaron, but this is definitely, yeah. I'd sign this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the best track I've heard from any of the demo days. I'm just like ready to fucking go, man. Like this was so good. This was so good. Terrell,
And it started out in the beginning as well, having a really, really solid kick like this and having that much space between the kick and the hats and the verb that's over there. It's basically that creates already the setting and the mood, and then an amazing vocal on top. You don't need much more, because it's every sound that you add should be as solid as the one before. So if you do feel that somewhere your mix is not on point in a track, or you feel that there's too much happening or whatever, go through every single sound and actually feel like, if you compare it to references or whatever, if it actually has the body and the presence that you would expect or that you have from the other sounds, put it there, because
yeah, and the track doesn't do much, but kind of going back to what we were saying before, like the use of that sample. I mean, you manipulated in so many different ways. You detuned it. I think you had chorusing. You like did this. You had delays. Like you just squeezed so much. You had a call and response with its own sample and the laughing. Like you just got so much out of it. I mean, everyone, take note on what we just heard. And Terrell, actually, just hit me up, demos@manjimasi.com, or hit me up on Discord. Would love to hear other demos you have.
likewise.
Yeah, this was A+.
Super
really,
nice.
Really nice stuff. Congrats.
Well
You should
done.
be proud of it. All right. Let's move on to, let's try and wrap this up in 19 minutes or so. I have to take care of the baby. We're running a little bit late. Let's see. This one is Puzzle de Piña. Man, Man, that was so good. I
Super
love it
nice.
when that happens, man. I just love it. Like, oh, it feels so good.
Yeah, ready when you are.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Sick. Shit. And just ends like that. Okay.
Wowza.
Oh wow.
I love the quirky saxophone, sort of drunk saxophone. What I was hoping, or what I was expecting, maybe like around 120 or 130 or whatever, that because I really like the sort of muffled, filtered down, mangled, sort of old, almost like Cassius kind of sound that it is. But then there's a lot more room in the high end range to just midway through, all of a sudden, just throw a whole wave of hats and shakers and rides that all come in at the same time that just overwhelm you, you know. Because I love this as a base, so to speak.
Cool. It's hard for me to give feedback on this one because I feel like it's just doing its own thing in the world of, it's 2 minutes 47 seconds. It like has like house influence. It has like free jazz. I mean, it's hard for me to give feedback on this because it's just doing its own thing. To me, it sounds very unique. It's very interesting. I was surprised throughout. I can't really. I don't have much to say. Yeah. Sorry.
I would use it. I would use it as a tool. You know, I mix a lot of like samples and things and stuff that I just loop under it, under other tracks, to add little weirdness and elements. And this would end up in that folder for sure.
Cool. My only 2 cents on this, and if this is a stylistic choice, totally fine. It feels compressed or saturated really, really hard. And if that's what you're going for that vibe, totally cool. For me, it just felt like a little bit too hard, but overall, I loved it. This type of stuff could be something that we did a vinyl release for on Mungie Mussy. Hit me up on Discord privately. Would love to hear other stuff that you have. It just doesn't sound like other stuff, and curious to hear what else you have. But I really enjoyed it.
I think that's an important thing that you're saying, that it doesn't sound like other stuff. And I think that's what kind of music entices me the most, where I'm like, where it sounds different and it's weird and it's unexpected. And I think on the dance floor, this is the same what people are yearning for as well.
Totally. All right, we're going to jump to the next one, and I'll send this over to you, Duncan. We have LeBrun. Keep going.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Stop at 2:15.
All right.
My first. Do you want to go first? Or should I go first?
You can go first.
My thoughts overall. It's nice. It's very pleasant. It's very smooth. You had my intro hooked in the beginning. It kind of has this feeling of there are a few tracks I have by Sure I Can, and they're just kind of like smooth, kind of electric, a little bit of like a throwback kind of synthy feel. I mean, overall, I think it feels nice. I don't have much negative to say about it. I'm just not like reeling over the top on it. I think it's a nice, pleasant track. I probably wouldn't remember it. It doesn't have a thing that like really stands out to me and says, oh, this is a track that I want to keep in my collection or play it at a gig or that I'll remember. But let's see where it goes from the break, see if something pops up. But to me, it sounds fine. It sounds nice.
Yeah. I have the same. I think that's very quality feedback. I think also the bass line, the long, lengthy bass line pulls a lot of attention, which makes you not really feel the groove so much, just because it's very prominent in the mix. But then again, curious to see where it goes.
Cool. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Nice hi-hat work there. Like that hi-hat working in. I just want to enjoy the groove, kind of what you're talking about.
I like this part. The
Yeah, me too.
Little bit.
Yeah. Nice groove.
Yeah, I would almost whatever it is that we hear here at the end from 5:55 or something. I would almost put that at the beginning and then build up from there, because that moves really, really nicely. And also halfway through the track there was all these interesting changes and things. It was only the beginning 2-3 minutes that didn't really grab me, and those are important minutes.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, what I was saying earlier in the track was more on the neutral critical side, and definitely come the end, I mean, I was way more positive on it. I mean, it just had a nice feel good feeling. The ARP in there felt really nice. That hi-hat work you did with extending the sustain or release time and then shortening it, that was like pretty smart. Yeah, it just I felt like it came together nicely at the end. And there was one thing I was gonna say. Yeah, that bass is really taking a lot of space.
Yeah.
And it's also maybe I only realized how nice that groove was when everything got removed. So maybe there's some mix down work or just, you know, tweaking that bass to create more room for that groove to shine through, because it's really, really nice. And also the ARP, I really like that ARP. It's a little buried in the mix, and I think the track could be more engaging if you gave a little bit more movement to the ARP, whether it's playing with the ADSR or playing with the filter and just kind of having it evolve and move. It's already really nice. It's placed really nicely, but I think you can squeeze some more energy and action out of it. But overall, first half I was neutral positive, and second half I thought it was really, really nice. I had a good feeling when I was listening.
Well said.
All right, well, I think I'm going to have to wind it down after that one. Let's see how many we didn't get to. Yeah, there's still 2 or 3 we didn't get to. Actually, you know what? A buddy of mine, Tosh, he posted in here, and I'm actually he's a friend of mine, and I'm curious to hear what he's up to. But for the rest of you, if I didn't get to your demos, I apologize. Hopefully we can get it to him next time. Also, if you subscribe on Patreon at any tier level, I guarantee that your demos will be moved to the top of the queue next month. So that's another way to guarantee. I also run a Patreon artist mentorship program. We'll do monthly one-on-one sessions. We can talk about production, DJing, social media, sometimes with therapy sessions, whatever you want. And we have unders here and he's giving some great feedback. All around great guy. Runs a great label, Happy Camper Records. So this is the last one we're gonna do. I also wanted to plug. You have a couple releases coming up. One on Pipe and Poche. That's move. Oh, that just came out a couple weeks ago, right?
That just came out, yeah. And then there's Guy Mansour starting a new label.
Oh.
And he just had his first release a couple weeks ago, and I'm doing the fourth one after, I think, Shai T and Sahar Z.
Nice.
The Israeli boys, the whole Israeli family, they make cool stuff. Yeah, I don't know what else. Oh, the Zero remix coming out. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming out, but it's finally figuring out that I have way too much stuff on my computer that just need to go places. You know.
That's
so
awesome.
what you guys are doing is actually super inspirational to see, because this is actually how you get it to the right people, and I'm not really that good at it. I always feel like I'm still just trying to finish things as opposed to actually scouting, but yeah, maybe that's something that I can learn.
Awesome.
To get better at.
That process
Yes.
never ends.
Exactly.
Cool. So let's check out just this last one from Tosh, and then we'll wrap it up, and I'll let you
Nice.
head to bed. What is it? 11 p.m. over there? Midnight?
12.
Midnight. All right. Yeah, I'll let you get to bed. Yeah, we've been streaming for 2 hours now. All right. So do you have the link, or should I send it to you?
I don't have
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I just sent it on WhatsApp.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Sorry to everyone who we didn't get to, but hopefully we'll get you next month. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. This is cool.
Yeah, clap needs to be way louder and bigger.
This curious boy,
Nice.
this battered soul, this broken man.
All right, let's pause it right before we get into the break, or right at the break.
Okay.
So far I'm kind of hooked in the groove. Has a nice feeling. Has kind of reminds me of like a Monolink kind of vibe. Sounds
Yeah.
like there's like a tremolated guitar and the vocals. My biggest I mean I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. My biggest thing is just on the mix down. It's just not, pumping in, firing on all the elements. I feel like could be much bigger impact. But you got my attention so far. Curious to see where it goes.
I think it's largely also a volume level. I think that the beat can be way louder and may have way more presence in the overall balance. Some of the melody parts are just taking up all the space right now.
All right, let's continue. 3, 2, 1, go.
This man needs permission to cry. This curious boy, this battered soul. This broken man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna pause it here, just because I'm gonna get in trouble since I'm so supposed to be babysitting
Right.
at the moment. But I'll let you go first on this one. I went first the last couple times.
I like the whole trip of how the melodies kind of come together and start to communicating with each other. I think this is definitely one where mix wise it just needs a completely different approach, and maybe this is an interesting track to send off to somebody and see what they come back with. You know, because I think the right elements are part of it actually.
Cool. Yeah. Overall, I liked it. I like the way it played together. I know this is something that you have in a live set. I think this will work well in a live set. But the only arrangement-wise, after the break, I like how you brought it in with like a stripped beat. But I felt like that chunk arrangement-wise was a little too long. You kind of lost my attention there. I was waiting for the main groove to get back in. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty solid tune. I think it would work well if this is indeed part of your live set. I don't really have a ton of negative feedback. I think it's pretty solid overall. I enjoyed it, and I think it would work well.
Nice.
So, yeah, that just about wraps it up. Appreciate everyone tuning in and submitting your demos. I know having unfinished or unsigned work, playing it in front of a public audience of people you don't know is a very scary thing to do. But, it opens opportunities. Duncan offered to potentially sign a track. I'm hoping for some more demos. And from some of these other tracks we've heard during streams, they've gotten signed to other labels. So congrats for putting yourself out there. It's not easy to do,
Nice.
but it's part of the game. And big thanks to you, Duncan Unders,
Of course.
for joining me for 2 hours and dealing with the technical issues. And it was a pleasure to have you and pleasure to chat with you and hang out after so long.
Definitely. Yeah, I look forward to connecting in person when I come back your way.
Definitely.
Do you have any Europe plans? Are you heading this way now?
No, we nothing international at the moment. We have
No.
with the baby at home, we're pretty careful about where we're choosing to travel. Since
Right.
Anyway, won't get
Yeah.
into that whole thing, but
Right.
hopefully soon, as
Nice.
soon as we feel safe.
Yeah, everyone's super nice for sending in stuff, and if you guys want more feedback or want more demos to send, we're always open for new music as well. So yeah, either send it my way, Atish's way. Happy to take a listen.
Awesome. All right, thanks everyone. Signing